Howdy do do do, motherfuckers. How are you? I hope you guys like the new layout. I hope you guys like the camera quality because I think it's busting, to be honest. But the title of today's video is Stop Complaining at Your Job. Now, by the end of this video, I hope you can have a new way of looking at the way you're working and can appreciate what your job is. Because if you're on my channel, if you're somebody who watches me often, you're probably somebody who's a little bit more entrepreneurial. You're somebody who doesn't like being told what to do, especially by somebody who has not earned that title. But yeah, hopefully by the end of this video, I can give you some type of knowledge and some new outlooks on your job. Now, obviously, you don't want to go to work. Obviously, you don't want to be told what to do. And obviously, you don't want to be in certain conditions. Like, I don't know about you, but where I work generally in warehousing positions. I generally work in positions where there's not much respect given to us as workers because they're like some other young person is going to come by and scoop it up. Now, the reason I don't complain about those conditions is because it reminds me that I'm in a cage. You understand? Like, so many people get office jobs, so many people get these jobs where they get respect and they're seen as high status in society, but they're still in a cage, you understand? Because there's lifestyle inflation. You have to call somebody and tell them, hey, I don't want to come in a month from now because that's my daughter's birthday. You understand? There's no control in that. But there's an illusion that allows you to believe that this is comfortable. 2 weekends a year or 2 weeks out of the year is comfortable. A weekend and 2 weeks of the year. That's not comfortable, and no human should work in those conditions if they don't want to. But what is complaining going to do? You understand? Whenever you're complaining, you're taking your power away. That frustration that you feel can be siphoned and transmuted into something positive that can actually get you out of that situation. Like, I work with a lot of old heads. I work with, well, I call them older heads, the older generations. And I speak to them, and I used to ask them for advice, and I used to vent. I used to talk about how I'm going on this entrepreneurial adventure, and like I don't really have anybody to talk to. A lot of the people my age hate on me. I used to vent and I used to complain my ass off, and my progress was so freaking slow. You know what I do now? Whenever I get upset, I take out my laptop on break and I get some fucking work done because I don't want to be there anymore. Like, if your cage was comfortable, would you really have the drive to get out of it? Or would you convince yourself that it wasn't a cage? Because most of society has convinced themselves that they are not in a cage. Think about that. Really, think about it. And be honest with yourself, because I'm somebody who's like, I'm not sure if I've worked up the discipline to say I'd completely work out of the cage, but the things that I do, I like to do so much that I'd still do them, and eventually I would come out of the cage. Would I work with them at max ferocity? Who knows? I've worked felon work, and I've worked warehousing and manual labor the entire time I've worked. So I'm 21 now. I started working at like 16. So I don't really have a point of reference. And if you're in a comfortable spot, like, bro, save up and try to fucking escape, seriously. Because if you don't go for it, nobody's gonna go for it for you. So complaining doesn't do much. All complaining does is pokes the hole, like, in the cup. Like, you poke a hole in the cup and all that frustration flows out. Now, sometimes it's good. Hey, sometimes it's good, we're all human, sometimes it's gonna happen. But at the end of the day, constantly complaining is not going to do shit for you. It's not gonna do any fucking thing for you, bro. So you might as well, like, just hold it. Next time you feel that impulse come up, I've been meditating recently so I can kind of observe my emotions. Next time you feel that impulse come up of, damn, I'm gonna go rant about how much I fucking hate this job to the people who are on the job with me. We're gonna talk about how shitty it is. When you first started that job, you knew what you were gonna use that job to do. Okay, I started this job. I'm gonna finish school. Or yeah, I'm gonna finish up school. I had my last payment today. Okay, I'm gonna get transportation. Okay, that's my next step in the bucket. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I didn't start that job because I wanted to fucking work a job for somebody else. When you're complaining, you're taking the power away from yourself and putting it in their hands. You're at the whims of somebody else, and you're not. Because realistically, if you're anything like me, if it gets to the point where you're that frustrated, or it gets to the point where it's that disrespectful, you're just gonna fucking quit. I've quit many jobs. I've only been working for a few years, but I've quit more jobs than most people, and I've also had more jobs than most people. So keep that in mind when you're going to work. Keep that in mind really with pretty much anything that you do. Complaining doesn't really do much. Try this out. Next time you feel like complaining, take out a pen and a paper and ask yourself, like, what do you need? Like, what, you know what I'm saying? For me, like, I felt like complaining today, so I literally broke out a piece of paper on the warehouse floor in the pen when there was a gap in between the line, and I said, I need a plan of action. I need a plan of attack. And I just wrote, should I stay at this job? They just cut our hours recently. It doesn't make any sense for me to stay at this job. The conclusion I came to is I'm gonna see what the next check looks like, because I need to see what a full check looks like. We had 2 holidays, but I was able to relax. And then I also realized that my last payment for school came through today, because I had that clarity from sitting down and writing. Clarity is the most important thing at the end of the day. Like, complaining fucks up your clarity, because you're now reliving the situations that got you frustrated, and you're adding emotion to it, and you're adding more emotion to it the more you complain about it, to where now it's no clarity about it. There's no intention of you telling the story but to get the emotional high of telling the story again. You understand? So be cognizant of that and be aware of that. That is a habit to break, so it's going to take some time. Be patient with yourself and understand that it's going to take time to break this habit of complaining about every goddamn thing. Because complainers don't get shit done. I'm not going to lie to you. And people that are getting shit done don't like complainers either, because we know you don't get shit done. But step away from that energy. That's, if you're spiritual just like me, that situation is being an energy vampire. It's taking the energy you could have transmuted for transformation, and it stole that for a high, an emotional high. Can you believe that? Anyways, journal or write. You don't gotta journal every day, but just sit down with your thoughts, man. That clarity is extremely important, and don't let a fucking job that's temporary ruin what your objective is. So, yeah, stop complaining on your goddamn job. Use it as your bitch and get out of the situation, you feel me? Alright, I love y'all. Stay up. Stay dangerous. Hold up. This is forever. It's forever.